Hello everyone, welcome to Mockpan's course on Cloze test. In this course, we will be learning about what techniques to use, how to prepare, and what strategy to use in order to get as much accuracy in Cloze test as possible. So, what is a Cloze test? For those of you who don't know, a close reading exercises are short passages or paragraphs where you supply the missing words which have been removed from the test's passage. A close reading test can be referred to as a deletion test, as keywords in the passage are left blank or deleted for you to fill in. Cloze test activity or procedure is also referred to as an English exercise or assessment quiz. Cloze tests are great vocabulary builders and are indicative of your level of English comprehension. Alright, so basically what this means is that you are given a passage, and from the passage there are 5 to 6 sentences, and in those passages there are about. So let's go to what rules you should follow in order to answer a cloze test. The first rule is prepositions. Put your prepositions in the appropriate places and put it as if it makes sense. Alright, so the first example I can give you is I am dash the house. Now if I say I am on the house, will that make sense? No, that won't make sense. So I have to say I am in the house, I am inside the house, I am within the house. So all of those things which denote me being inside something is the preposition which can be used in these contexts. Alright. But if I say I am dash the roof, what would be the appropriate word which can be put in here? Here certainly you can't put in. You can't be inside a roof. You can only be on top of a roof. So you can use on or atop or such other prepositions which denote that you are on top of a roof and not inside. Okay. So next, the next example could be I depends on the context. So let's see three different contexts in which this can be used. So the previous sentence could be I have been playful. I am sitting dash the table. So in this sentence we have found out the mood of the author. So the mood of the author is that she or he has been very playful. So when you are playful, do you simply sit by the table, or do you sit under the table, or do you sit on the table? Obviously you sit on the table when you are playful. So I am sitting on the table is the correct answer in this case. The second context is where the previous sentence is I hid. I am sitting by the table. So you have to understand the context in which the preposition is supposed to be used. Then only you will be able to answer the question appropriately. The next rule which we have to follow is tense. So this is a pretty important concept which you have to learn. So let's make 3 columns here: past, present and future tense. And here we'll take simple tense, perfect tense, continuous tense and perfect continuous. Alright, so let's start with a simple sentence. I do. Now I do is simple present. It's happening right now. So I do generally. So that is the way simple present is used. I do, I swim, I talk. Alright, so the past tense of this is I did. And the future tense is I will do. how do you put it in the perfect tense? I will, sorry, that's incorrect. I have done. I will have done. And I had done. Alright? And how do you put it in the continuous tense? That is where the action is continually happening. I was doing. I am doing. And I have been doing. So this is the entire setup as to how you use it in every single tense that is possible. Alright? So when you use a verb, the verb naturally changes with the tense. And such words you have to change appropriately according to the tense that is there and according to the nouns that are also present. Alright? So let's go to the next rule. Conjunctions. Conjunctions refer to joining words. These are words such as but, still, yet, nevertheless, and other such words which join two words or two sentences. Do you get my meaning? So, conjunctions are words which join two words or two sentences. So the examples for such words are these. So you have to be sure as to how you are using the conjunctions. So when you are putting in conjunctions fill in the blanks, you have to put it appropriately. I ran fast. But, no, dash, I missed the train. So here, you can put several conjunctions in this blank, but and is not one of them. Why is it not one of them? Because it does not make sense as it goes. I ran fast and I missed the train. This does not make sense because it's not semantically conjoining with each other. So, but if you put but here, or yet, or still, you will not be able to see any blemish in the entire sentence. The sentence will continue very smoothly. I ran fast, but I missed the train. I ran fast, yet I missed the train. I ran fast, still I missed the train. However, if you put something like so and in this blank, then it will become that because he ran fast, he missed the train, which does not make sense. Alright? So you have to be sure how you are using the conjunctions. Next is vocabulary. The most important thing in vocab is practice and learn. Learn and interact. First, you need to practice, that is, keep using words you have learned. Learn 10 words per day or keep any limit that is suitable for you. And interact. Talk only in English and make use of these new words that you have learned. Alright? So in this way you will be able to master vocabulary. So this is the fourth rule that we have. So let's go to an example now. Can we see dash the earth is a globe? So here let's see. Can we see if the earth is a globe? That's a possible option. Can we see where the earth is a globe? Does this make sense? Where the earth is a globe? No, this does not make sense. Can we see that the earth is a globe? This could also be an option. Can we see whether the earth is a globe? This is also an option. Can we see when the earth is a globe? This does not make sense, so it's not an option. So it should make sense semantically, so that's when you use the process of elimination and eliminate options which are not suitable for that blank. So can we see if the earth is a globe? Can we see that the earth is a globe? Can we see whether the earth is a globe. Here, when we take if and whether, they have a similar meaning. So we'll keep these two. Can we see that the earth is a globe? This gives a meaning that can't you see the earth is a globe, or whether the earth is a globe? So whether is the most appropriate one, and this should be entirely up to your judgment. Alright, you should use the one, and we'll choose whether here. So we'll put in, can we see whether the earth is a globe? Yes, we can. We can, when we watch a ship that sails out to the sea, we watch closely, we see that the ship begins. Let's go to the next slide. The ship begins. Being disappeared. This is in which tense first? We have to understand which tense this is in. This is in simple present tense. Okay. So being disappeared, when the word being comes, the continuous tense appears. To be disappeared, the perfect tense appears. So neither this nor the second option are the correct answer. To have disappeared. So have is also again perfect tense. So this doesn't suit. To disappear. This is a possible explanation. Having disappeared. This is alright. So let's go to the next slide. So we have whether, to disappear. The bottom of the ship disappears first, and then the ship seems to sink lower and lower. Dash, we can only see the top of the ship, and then we see nothing at all. Since we see the top of the ship does not make sense. After we see the top of the ship also does not make sense. I'll tell you why this doesn't make sense, because when we say then the ship seems to sink lower and lower, after we can only see the top of the ship. This means that we can only see the top of the ship, and after that the ship seems to sink lower and lower. So this does not make semantic sense. So that's why after is not the option. Since we can only see the top of the ship, this means that because we can only see the top of the ship seems to sink lower and lower. This is not true, because it is because the ship is sinking lower and lower we can see the top of the ship. When the ship seems to sink lower and lower, by the time we can only see the top of the ship, and then we see nothing at all. This becomes an incomplete sentence, because we need a proper conjunction in this sense, and this becomes an incomplete sentence if we use by the time. Actually, it's the other way around. By the time the ship seems to sink lower and lower, we can only see the top of the ship. This is how the sentence should be constructed, but the blank is over here, so we have to choose another word. Unless we can only see the top of the ship. This means that until and unless, this means that only unless we see the top of the ship, this ship seems to sink lower and lower. So this does not make semantic sense, because only after the ship sinks lower and lower we can see the top of the ship. So until here, through the process of elimination, we've come to the conclusion that until is the correct answer here. So we've covered until the third blank, and then we see nothing at all. What is hiding the ship from us? It is the earth. Stick a pin most of the way into the orange and dash turn the orange away from you. Reluctantly, why would you want to reluctantly turn an orange away from you? So this also does not make sense. Accidentally turn the orange away from you, but you're doing this deliberately, so this is also wrong. Passionately turn the orange away from you. This is also wrong, because why would you have passion in something that you're doing with an orange and a pin? And carefully could be an option. Slowly could also be an option. Stick a pin most of the way into the orange and dash turn the orange away from you. So this brings to mind how the earth rotates. So this is a comparison of how the earth rotates. The earth does not rotate carefully, but it rotates slowly. So this is the option that we want. So let's go to the final blank. you will see the pin disappear just as a ship does on the earth. So just as is the correct option. I will tell you how we arrived at this conclusion. The same could have been an answer if the same as had been here. The same as a ship does on the earth. So this is the wrong option. Alike, if it were just like, then it could have been the proper answer, but it's not, so it's wrong. By the way gives a completely different interpretation or meaning. It's like when you say, by the way, did you see the news yesterday? So that it gives that sort of meaning. So that is not the meaning we want here. Similar to, you will see the pin disappear similar to a ship does on the earth. So this is grammatically wrong, because when we say the sentence, it should be similarly. You will see the pin disappear like a ship does on the earth. So that's when similar comes to use, usually in the beginning of a sentence. So, and we should also see the verb is in the first part of the sentence. You will see is also wrong. So the only option we come to is just as. So we come to this conclusion through the process of elimination. So the important thing that we have noticed over here is that we should always eliminate all the options that we think does not sound right. Okay, so that does not make grammatic sense or does not sound right or has too many words or too little words. So all of those words you can immediately find out when you replace the blank with the word. So when you find that out, that's when you decide what the correct option is. We hope you've had a very informative time. Thank you for watching this video, and goodbye.